while this is all going on, I think the next parlay is going to make these lockdowns and restrictions more about climate change. If anybody has seen, for instance, the Veritas leaks this week, I think that emphasizes more and more of this narrative that Klaus Schwab and the gang have started building around this great reset. And the fact that they think they're going to use that as the next COVID and kind of substitute it. We've seen Bloomberg now put out articles about permanent lockdown. We've seen Forbes saying we need the pandemic lockdown equivalent, every 2 or so years. So I believe in the next 6 to 12 months, that will be the next big crisis they try to portray. Again, as they try to portray, a world that's collapsing. All these food shortages are our fault. Climate change is our fault. The degraded soil is our fault. And try to, again, micromanage more and more of our lives.
Yeah. Well, let's get the Resistance Chronicle in here. You guys look, first of all, your setup is awesome because it looks like you're in a room where you waterboard somebody who owes you money. You look
That's what we're doing. We're doing that and we're eating Krispy Kreme donuts.
Yeah. But we had to pay for ours.
As of now.
What's going on in New Hampshire? Because you guys, if you guys aren't familiar with them, they're from New Hampshire, and they lifted the mandate. So I think that's a step in the right direction.
Kind of, but people are still wearing it. It's like they never actually got rid of the mandate. And like Best Buy, I went there the other day. They're still doing limited capacity.
And they gave him a face shield in Best Buy.
Yeah, I was like, I can't wear a mask because I got a medical condition. And they're like, oh, well, that's good. We got a face shield you can wear. I'm like, oh, what?
So it's pretty.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Y'all have Krispy Kreme though in Canada, right?
We're in New Hampshire, not Canada.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Well then, what do you mean you're in New Hampshire? You have Krispy Kreme, right? They're free then.
We used to have Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
They
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Fuck.
We like our local donuts stuff too. So yeah, forget about Krispy Kreme.
What a bummer.
So it's mixed here in New Hampshire. There's a lot of people that are on board with going without the mask and taking the governor up on this, release of the mandate. And it's like, oh, thank you, our governor for allowing us to breathe air and walk around. And supposedly he's going to take the partitions out of restaurants on the 15th, but who knows what's going to happen. He's probably just waiting to see what kind of kickback he gets from the mask mandates. But you got some people that are just still wearing that mask and loving it and embracing it and sticking their kids in it. I picked my daughter up from her running club after school, and she's only 9 years old, and they're having these kids run around with masks on, and thank God I'm her father because she knows when to whip that friggin' thing off and not have it next to her. And the vaccine is being pushed big time. And I don't know if you know this, Ricky, being on the border of Massachusetts, if you're down to get the vaccine, our governor has opened it up to other states because there's such a large supply of the vaccine available in the state because nobody wants to friggin' get it. But you got signs going up Route 16 into the Lakes region. And the sign says, this is your only shot to get back to normal. And it's an advertisement for the vaccine. I think there's just so much money wrapped up into this that they're just going to keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And that's
advertise the vaccine on your license plates where it says live free or die by the vaccine.
Yeah.
Some people are going to live free after getting the vaccine. Other people are going to die from the vaccine. So it's it's crazy because it always seemed like one of those states where, because I was there in 2020 for the 4th of July. We went up there with our family, and it was pretty cool. I mean, we went to Hampton Beach. People seem to be pretty pretty laid back, not taking it seriously. But I think it's changed since then, and it's gotten people have gotten a little bit more freaked out about it. The propaganda has reached them.
The beaches were super hit or miss last summer. I mean, we only have like a 15-mile strip of beach that runs through New Hampshire. And you had some of your smaller private-ish beaches that were good. Hampton I didn't hit up because I thought that was just going to be a total shit show all summer long. But I guess at the state reservation, so when you come over the bridge and you come into Hampton, and it's picture like a boardwalk-esque kind of place with arcades and condos and stuff like that. There's a state reservation, which is the main beach there. You got to make reservations to go to the beach. So what we did last year was we said we're not dealing with this crap. We're not going to put our kids in bathing suits and a mask and have them walk around. we bought a little Intex pool. We went in our backyard drinking. And guys, we had the summer of our lives last year. And what part of what we do here on the Resistance Chronicle is we want to talk about, self-sufficiency too. So like gardening and homesteading and just getting back to the stuff that made us humans. And some really good times created some really weak people. Now some strong people need to create some really good times again. And it's up to us to kind of spread that word, man.
I think we need to instill an attitude of never relaxing about this, because we can't. Yeah. If we start trusting centralized authorities too much, they always need to be questioned. They always need to be doubted. That's what got us in the situation we're in. Too much confidence. Too much confidence.
But Matt, you're down in Southeast Asia. A lot of us are up here in the Northeast. I mean, it's a different story. Are people where you're at? Are they following restrictions? Is it locked down the same degree?
What's it like? I call it the 80-20 rule. 80% of the people don't believe the narrative. 20% do. But 95% of that 80% follows the mandate roughly, kind of loosely, but like most of the masks are below their nose or underneath their chin. I went out. In fact, I hadn't went out for a year because I just didn't know exactly how the local police were going to treat people. I'd stayed home, had things delivered in, but in the last month, I've started going out. And what I've noticed is you keep that thing below your chin. If someone says something, okay, you lift it, put it up above your nose, walk until they're out of sight, put it back down. They're not going to say anything. As I said earlier, I walked by these. Well, the city has like 5 or 6 triage zones where all of the sick are supposed to go, right? They're all empty. I walked right by the central triage on Friday. Just the people manning it were there, and they weren't wearing masks. It was quite funny because we walked by the corner and there were a group of police. They were not wearing masks. They put up this banner for, this road is closed. You see them taking a picture and they're all putting their masks up. They fold up the banner and they put down their masks. They don't believe the narrative. Why does it continue being pressed here? We get World Bank money. That's why. Mm-hmm. And nobody really believes it except that small, well, not really small, 19 to 20%. The last survey I heard said only 19% wanted the vaccine.
Well, I would say this. I think we've got to be worried about the fact that all of these big corporations are selectively enforcing it. You guys, these guys over in New Hampshire that are talking about how things haven't changed. I would totally agree that a lot of places are that way. Luckily, there's so much resistance in Iowa, for instance. Like there's a line that somebody says to you at Walmart, nobody chases you down. You walk in and there's still about 25-30% of the people not wearing masks. They still got a hold of about 70%. There is no mandate. There are no rules, all those things. But we have to remember that big tech just had a large conference. I believe it was representatives of 100 different companies, Starbucks and all these other ones among them. And the tagline, it was for election integrity and what's going on in Georgia. However, they said they were talking about other political issues. And I can guarantee you one of those political issues is not only these vaccine passports, but getting on board on this health, well, and safety seal that has different tiers, and you have to have certain things instituted into your private businesses in order to have them. So obviously they're going to get on board with this because this is going to work their competitors out. You'll have to pay a fee. You'll have to keep it up to code. And it'll essentially, again, work as, this fascist technopoly that has been erected to maybe not enforce it through law at first, but coerce you with it by means of trade.
It's shitty.
Hey, everybody, that was a segment from an almost 2-hour-long broadcast with the Union of the Unwanted. As many of you know, I go on that program from time to time to discuss an array of issues with a plethora of interesting guests. This one includes, of course, Ricky Varandas, OBDM, and even Hotep Jesus. So I hope you check out the entire thing, totally free and totally uncensored, only at the Rockfin. Make that free Rockfin account right now and join a platform for true free speech. Thank you all, and I'll see you on the flip.